Okay, it's time to cut. What? That's right. That's right.
Let's break into this NXT Stand and Deliver Night 1, a show which mostly delivered. It was mostly a good show. The one thing on the show that I probably figured I wasn't going to like, I didn't like. But other than that, the show was still pretty solid. So on the pre-show, Zoe Stark defeated Toni Storm. I kind of saw that coming. I think Toni Storm was on her way out. Also, I told you guys, I swear I just told you, that they're stealth retiring Mickie James. Mickie James was doing commentary for this match, and she was doing like backstage stuff for NXT. They have stealth retired Mickie James. They keep doing this again and again. This is an old Vince McMahon trick. He's been doing it to everybody. Guys who still want to wrestle, he'll put you on commentary. He did it to Superstar Billy Graham. He did it to Jesse Ventura. He did it to Mr. Perfect. He did it to Randy Savage. He did it to Roddy Piper. He did it to Teddy DiBiase. He did it to Jerry the King Lawler. He did it to CM Punk when that time when he was injured for that short amount of time, and everybody thought he was pretty much done. You know, they always stealth retiring people in WWE. They always do this stuff. Mickie James is just next on the list. Where now she's doing commentary and she's going to be doing backstage interviews and stuff like that. She might get in the ring one or two more times, but mostly they're transitioning her to a different role. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows. I called it. All you got to do is look at patterns of behavior. Patterns of behavior said all. Anyway, Zoe Stark and Toni Storm was a pretty good match. And I expected Zoe Stark to win. And Toni Storm needs to go to Raw or SmackDown, somewhere where she could be a star. And let the thighs speak for themselves. You know, guarantee you once, you know, a good 2 million people see them thighs, man, she'll never have to go through shit like this again. Go through the show proper, the proper part of the show. Match 1, Pete Dunne versus Kushida. There was a new theme for Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne wins, which I expected. Kushida just has no steam in NXT. Really, this match should have been on a pre-show too, because essentially all he did was work the hands and fingers. And Pete Dunne, oh my God, Pete Dunne, despite being a good worker, he kind of works the same match now. He's kind of fallen into that groove where all he really does is bend fingers and snap fingers and do finger stuff, small joint manipulation. That's really all he does now. That has gone from being something cool that he does to being something that he kind of relies on. Kushida is very good. Again, this match was good. It wasn't great. But, you know, I don't know. You know, it was all right. This could have been a pre-show match, too, if we're being honest. You could have put this on the pre-show. The Gauntlet Eliminator. I'm not going to go through this in any real detail, but I didn't like this. Because it was just nonsense. It just felt like a waste of time. It was Royal Rumble style, pinfall and submissions. Guys come out in intervals. I think it's 3-minute intervals or something like that. So it was rough, Swerve. Reed comes in 3. Grimes comes in 4. Loomis comes in 5. LA Knight comes in 6. They didn't even give Swerve or Leon Ruff an entrance. That goes to show how important they were. There was some interesting things that took place, like Cameron Grimes bribing Swerve to help him out, and the two of them kind of jumped on. I believe it was the Leon Ruff they beat up while they was working on him. LA Knight come in cutting a promo about punting Grimes to the moon, and getting Loomis to paint the picture of being dropped on his head, and then he gets attacked by Bronson Reed from behind. So Bronson Reed wins this match, which makes sense. I called it, so it makes sense. I was okay with it. Swerve was the last man in the ring with Reed. That was very interesting. The LA Knight experiment in NXT, the bloom is off the rose. This is his second loss. And, so they're not even really, they 50-50 booking the shit out of him. Like, he's won 2 matches, he's lost 2. He's lost 2 to the same guy, though. So maybe they're going to do this old thing where Bronson Reed's going to win that North American title and then Knight's going to steal it from him, which I would support, but that's different. You know, I would think he would come in, give the like. I get it. You know, Reed is younger. Knight is a little bit older. He can. It's not like you got a hot young guy that you're bringing in, but at the same time, it just feels very just meh that you just got the guy losing so much. He could have just got thrown over the top rope last week instead of taking a pin this week, and that's why I didn't like. Why not just do the battle royal here and then still have the same outcome? This match ate up a lot of time, and it didn't feel like it was important. You know, it still didn't feel like it was important, but Bronson Reed winning was for the best. Third match, NXT UK title, Tommaso Ciampa versus Walter. And this was excellent. This was excellent. You know, Ciampa went in there and took a beating, dog. You know, he went in there and took some hellacious chops, took some really harsh power bombs. You know, but he fought. He kept fighting. He fought from underneath. You know, the knee strikes he was throwing in this match were pretty vicious. He did an air raid crash from the second rope, I believe, or off the top rope. You know, I like that Ciampa was laying his chops in too. So he didn't leave the chop game to Walter. He was giving some back. You know, he was getting them and he was giving them in equal measure. Walter hit him with 2 power bombs. Usually that's, you know, one of his finishers. Walter is a very basic performer. Like, he doesn't really do a lot, you know. So the special pin that he goes with his power bombs, when he puts entire weight on your legs, is usually enough. But Ciampa kicked out of that, which led to Walter doing a head and neck suplex where he kind of did a, you know, throw him over the top rope, and then he did like a running chop for the pin. I did not like the running chop finish. I would have preferred if he did like the lariat that he usually does in NXT UK, that he's kind of adopted using a running lariat. I think he did it to A-Kid and Ilya Dragunov. I would have preferred that rather than the head and arm suplex, and then he gets up and you chop him back down. I just don't like the idea of Tommaso Ciampa losing to a chop. You know, like, he lost to a chop. I know it's the combination of moves. I still just don't like it. You know, he could have did like the top rope splash or something. You know, drop 3. Well, I guess you can't do that because that's Bronson Reed's thing. But you know, this was a fine match. I really enjoyed it. This was probably the match of the night. Well, definitely the match of the night as far as I'm concerned. You know, and I expected that going in. And it delivered. So that was great. MSK won the NXT Tag Team Championships over the grizzled young veterans and Legado del Fantasma. This match was spot fest. Okay, this match, I did not know what was going on half the time. I had taken some allergy medicine because my eyes were burning because I had dry eyes. And by the time this match was on, I was not only dozing, but I was also having trouble following because they were doing. I just kept seeing guys flipping all over the place. I was just kind of like, huh? Who's legal? Huh? What's going on? Huh? Of course, I went back and, you know, fast forwarded through it to catch certain things, and it made the match a little bit better. But this match was just guys flying all over the place. You know, the Legado del Fantasma, I think they did a stereo jump where Mendoza did like a spinning top. It was like a cyclone joint. It was crazy. It was just people everywhere, yo. MSK did a double coast to coast on Mendoza. Like, that's a finish. Like a double coast to coast. Like, this guy's upside down in the trio woe. One guy jumps from way across the ring, kicks him. The other guy jumps from another turnbuckle all the way across the ring, kicks him, and that's not the finish. This was insane. They was throwing all this type of stuff. They also did the old working the hand in this match, which of course begs the question, why did they do it in the Kushida Dunn match knowing that they were going to do it again here? Because Wesley literally had his hand broken by injured by grizzled young veterans, and they played into that. There was a submission hold what Wesley was in, what do you call him, his name Dez, and he seemed like he's going to submit, and then Drake put the other one, Nash Carter, in the submission hold. And they were holding each other's hands, having moral support. And I was just like, we don't need that. They were MSK were holding each other's hands like, please don't give up. Please don't give up the power of friendship. I was like, man, sometimes NXT's melodrama, that Shawn Michaels influence, not good. Sometimes that Shawn Michaels influence is just plain not good. And we didn't need that. But I figured MSK winning was kind of surprising. Considering I think I shouldn't say it's not a surprise because they won the Dusty Cup and they just want to go with the hot hand. But my thing is heat. Why not just give the belts to Grizzled Young Veterans and let them run and let MSK chase for a little while? But I don't know. I guess they got teams lined up because you can't have the Grizzled Young Veterans there forever. Because this is another match that they lost to MSK. Well, they did do, I should have mentioned this. They did the Doomsday device on the floor. Now, what they did to Legado del Fantasma was actually interesting, and they actually wrote them out of the match, where there was like a burning hammer on Mendoza with a foot stomp. Because everything is a combination move these days. So he jumped off, so I think it was, Nash jumped off the ring apron, stomped him in the chest, and then he got it face first into the floor. And then James Drake did, and Zach Gibson did running Doomsday device off the ramp to Joaquin Wilde, and they were essentially done for the rest of the match. So that was fine, that was good. But I don't know what you do with Grizzly Young Veterans now. Like they can't keep losing to MSK. So I guess they're leaving. Why? What other? There's no other reason to have them on the show now. It's like if they're not going to be the tag team champions, they're just going to be one of the guys. That's a waste of everybody's time. So, whatever. So what was I? Where was I? Okay. The NXT Women's Champion. Oh yeah, the MSK won with a springboard blockbuster, which I thought was pretty cool. And the last match, of course, the NXT Women's Championship, Io Shirai finally drops the title. She drops it to Raquel Gonzalez. And this match was actually pretty good. Io Shirai threw everything at Raquel Gonzalez. They even was very generous with the outside the ring rules. Usually, I that's one of the things I talk a lot about is, we're just outside the ring. And you're just chilling outside the ring. But in this match, they were very lackadaisical. They were letting Io Shirai go out on her sword. So, there was... I liked the nice touch they did for the entrances, where they had the tail of the tape during the entrance, where you had on one, like, it would, as they were introducing them, not only were they in the ring, in the dark, in the spotlight, face to face, it showed height, weight, signature moves, yada, yada, yada. Made it feel like a real sporting event. Ring of Honor does something similar. It's a little bit more sportsy in Ring of Honor, and WWE is still very WWE because they have to put their own spin on everything. But they also did a tail of the tape on the pre-show with Tommaso Ciampa and Walter, and that was just ridiculous. Walter is like 6'5", and Tommaso Ciampa is 5'11". I was just like, whatever. Anyway, Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai was good. It wasn't great. It was good. And there was, of course, the awesome spot of Io Shirai jumping off of the set. And just, they're doing a great job of just having her be such a daredevil and so reckless that she's just doing whatever, And because this is how she survives, as far as how she's able to survive a match with Raquel Gonzalez has been through her speed and her agility and her ability to, take damage. And that's what she did in this match. She took a pretty good beating, as far as getting slammed on the floor and all that type of stuff. But I do like this. I do like the title switch. I like that Io Shirai was able to fight, a lot. Now, In some instances, you would say she probably got too much offense being so much smaller, but I think she kind of needed that, to establish her toughness, because that's always been that's been the story thus far, is that Io Shirai is the one who picked this fight, and she's picked the biggest and toughest challenge, and that she hasn't found a way to overcome that strength yet. So that's pretty much what the story was. So it's, she would do something and maybe Raquel would catch her and she would get lawn darted into the ring apron. But she will also be able to manage to get Raquel into a submission hold or something. Anything to be able to get her down. So the moonsaults and, even Raquel Gonzalez even kicked out of her finish. She kicked out of the moonsault. So the finish came with a one-arm power bomb. I guess that's what they're calling it. So this was very good. Right decision was made. Io Shirai wasn't buried. She wasn't killed. It was just time for her to drop the belt, and it was a right opponent, right situation, good things. Now, what do we do with Io Shirai? Well, you could run a rematch. You could probably. I still want Io Shirai and Xia Li. You have Saray coming in now, who is actually at NXT TakeOver. She was there with Stephanie McMahon. So you have a younger Io Shirai coming in. I don't know. I mean, they're doing a decent job of when Asuka left, they had Kairi Sane come in. When Kairi Sane started to kind of run her course, Io Shirai was there. Now Io Shirai is running her course and Saray is coming in. So they're doing a good job with the Japanese women and not having them all on the brand at the same time. So what does this mean? Does this mean that Io Shirai is going to go to Raw or SmackDown? And I don't know how she's going to work on Raw or SmackDown, if we're being honest. She is so tiny. I don't really, and I don't see how it works. I think that's a mistake waiting to happen, is moving Io Shirai to Raw or SmackDown. That's a mistake. I think she needs to stay in NXT along with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano and all them. They need to find something else for her to do in NXT. And she's one of the few people I would say she needs to stay in NXT. And there's probably about 5 people I should say they shouldn't go anywhere. And Io Shirai is on that list. Because looking at how they treated Asuka, it's not a good idea. How they treated Kairi Sane, who is as small as Io Shirai is, it's not smart. It's not smart to move Io Shirai to SmackDown or Raw. She should stay where she is. But this show was very solid. I managed to pay attention to everything, even while I was high on Benadryl and I was wanting to go to sleep. I still managed to stay up and pay attention to everything and not miss that much. And what I did miss, I was able to, of course, go back live and watch. Even though I didn't miss that much, I was able to doze during commercials. But so it actually helped me. Maybe the Benadryls helped me pay more attention. But I ended up enjoying a lot of this stuff. So it was a fun show. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys for your time. Send cash via the Cash App or cash to the subscribe star. If you want to put me on the payroll, you want to just hit the like and hit the bell for notification and your subscribe button, that'd be cool too. Either way, thank you guys for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later.